Hey Pisces, you're very welcome to your November 2019 messages. So I'm Steph, guys. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos, you're very welcome to the channel. And as always, to my regular viewers and subscribers, thanks for coming back, guys. Thanks for the support. So Pisces, I have time stamped in the description box. Overall energy, general, career, finances, love and relationships, and then we'll finish off the reading with an oracle message. So let's see what's going on with Pisces for November 2019. So overall energy for Pisces, Nine of Swords. So this can be the time in our lives when an ending has occurred in a relationship, a situation, a job. Something has ended here and it represents disappointment, sadness, and sometimes depression. It can talk about sleepless nights, worry, anxiety, and fears getting on top of you here. So it's the grief that we feel and that sadness that we feel at those endings in our lives, or those times when they are challenging to us. So the Nine of Swords is a card where we can learn a lot, and it's very easy to say that, but when you're going through a difficult cycle and time, especially if a relationship has ended, something isn't working out the way you had hoped, and there's disappointment around that, or things are getting on top of you, and you're having difficulty sleeping because your mind is racing with worry and fear and anxiety. This card talks about really connecting to your deepest fears and facing up to the truths of your situation, coming to a place where we can try and grow from the experience, gain strength and wisdom through these endings, through the challenging times. So Pisces, there is a need to really look at listening to possibly subliminal messaging to help you release worry, fear, sadness, any negative energies, thoughts, feelings that you might feel is overwhelming to you. You can definitely look up subliminal messaging to help you with self-love and care, to help you release anxiety and stress and things like that, guys. So I do feel like we can definitely be our own worst enemy. The power of the mind can be your best friend, or it can be your worst enemy. And the important thing to remember is we have the power to change our thoughts. It takes a lot of work to learn to control those negative thoughts, and change them into a more optimistic approach here. This is like talking positively to yourself, about yourself, and giving yourself self-love and respect. I think you really have to focus on you in a difficult, challenging energy of the Nine of Swords. So let's look at the general energies for Pisces. We have Six of Swords. So this is better. And the High Priestess. So the Six of Swords can represent the journey the journey is begun for healing, where resolutions to conflicts and arguments, misunderstandings, and a difficult chapter can be reconciled here. And there's two people in this ship, and it's the metaphor of moving to much calmer waters. Now there can be a physical relocation taking place here for some of you guys, and maybe you're relocating for a partner or to be closer to a partner. Maybe there's distance, or there's a lot of travel that takes place within a connection, and that can be overwhelming or add stress in the situation here. But the Six of Swords is positive in terms of the turbulence, putting the turbulent energy behind you and moving forward out of those choppy waters into much more calm or peaceful state of mind here. Now, travel over water could be coming in around you guys. Some of you could be going on a vacation or a trip to really find solace and to find peace and tranquility, to bring harmony and balance back into the relationship, back into your world. The High Priestess is the intuition, it's the gut instincts, it's spiritual spiritual power, spiritual gifts, spiritual growth. Some of you could definitely be going to see a psychic, or you're moving into the unknown here, but you need to follow your peace of mind. So taking actions towards making the changes or the steps needed to gain some peace of mind, to gain some balance within your life here. And yes, there are unknowns, but now the power of the divine feminine, now the power of creativity, the power of that empathic ability and energy, the empathic ability to work with energy here. And this is exactly what I was saying in the Nine of Swords. It's the power to manipulate the energies around you, to use the forces and power within ourselves. So tapping into our higher selves, tapping into the higher dimensions of reality to create a much more positive experience and existing, to create movement forward here. And yes, there are hidden aspects and unknowns and uncertainties attached to moving forward, but ultimately it's in the following our gut instincts, it's in the following our sense of knowing that we are guided to the right path. And I feel you're being guided here to move away from situations, people that are causing you conflict and worry, causing you sleepless nights, those energy vampires. Really it's time now to cut your losses, get a load of crap off your plate that you don't need any longer, and use the power within you to trust yourself and to trust the path that you know is in your highest good here. Okay, Pisces, we're going to get into career energies. We have Four of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. So the Four of Pentacles represents, it's about the ability to, it can be quite rigid, okay? There can be a clinging to materialistic items, or the need to hoard, or the need to have a lot of okay, they need to have a lot of props, or they need to have a lot of, like, say for instance, materialism, like the need to, yeah, if it's the need. So I don't know why it's like it's definitely connecting you to the need to open up, okay? So there might be a withholding of information here in a career dynamic, in a workspace, or there's a need to share. So if you're a person that has a lot of success and material, financial success, but you can be sometimes reluctant to spend your money, so you forget to share your wealth, you forget to be generous and kind. So the Four of Pentacles talks about opening up to the generosity and kindness of giving from your heart, giving, sharing what you have. Um, so there's a need to create an energy flow with material items, with finances in your lives here. The chest, he's kind of putting the key in the chest, and it seems like that he has a bag there that he's holding tightly to. So remember that career and wealth and material items will never be able to bring you the fulfillment and happiness that you seek. So, in sharing your talents, in sharing your resources, in opening up your energy to collaborate with other people, maybe opening up to other opinions and ideas, will help you in your career dynamic here. But the Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior, is somebody who may have closed themselves off, disconnected themselves, isolated themselves here because they fear like that there's the worst is not behind them. They're on high defense, they're on high guard. Um, so there's a need to open up to healing energy. Um, so there could be definitely a feeling of like everybody is against you in your career, or there's a lot of challenges to overcome. Maybe you feel like that you haven't got the support that you've needed, or somebody's been holding on to some support that they could have been giving you. So this is the energy of like it's you can be your own worst enemy here. We have two nines, okay? So there's a cycle that's coming to a completion stage. You're closing out a chapter, and the Nine of Wands would say you need to really validate your strength, your talents, your inner resources. Then they accept yourself and everything that you can do, your abilities. Yes, there is competition in life. You might be very guarded here about sharing details of a business, or you're definitely building some financial security, a financial plan here. But you're doing this possibly because maybe you feel like you're preparing for the worst here. So yeah, so maybe like worst case scenario, if like business drops down, or you're trying to build a foundation or a business and you're focusing on getting customers, maybe you're making a long-term plan here, because maybe you've been burnt before and you want to build that financial security up again. So you're definitely guarded of how you spend your money and where you put your resources at this time, because you want to build security within your career, within your work life. So we're going to take one card for finances, the High Priest. So this can be the High Priestess represents traditionality, okay? It represents higher learning, institutions, educations, organizations. It also represents marriage. So some of you could be investing some money into higher education, higher learning, some sort of training, mentorship, internship could be happening here. And also you might be going to seek counsel and advice about your financial situation, and definitely how to, maybe you're putting in a retirement plan or an investment plan, and you're going to a wise counsel, somebody who is knowledgeable, qualified and skilled in the area of finances. You might be getting a lot of advice from this person, or seeking out a Taurus person here within the High Priest. Some of you are definitely, if you have been doing things in a conventional way, you might be looking at doing things in a more unconventional, thinking outside the box type energy when it comes to finances and investments, and that security and wealth that you're trying to build for yourself. So it bodes well that you invest in some training, or you're going to be joining an organization that's going to have an increase. Some of you could be coming into a position of power, a leadership role, teaching role, and this is increasing your finances. Also, the energy of the Taurus full moon, where we could be drawn into a lot of materialism, or rigid need to control our material world, and choose that over emotion. So there's a need here to try and align creative talents with your intellectual mind, and merging logic, reason, creativity, inspiration and passion to move forward. I think you might get the advice you need that possibly could help dig you out of a hole, or get you out of a sticky situation, or a circumstance here. So let's look at love and relationships for Pisces for November. We have Justice card, and we have the Cernosis. I think that's how you pronounce it, guys, but this would be similar to the Devil energy. So two major arcanas coming in here for love and relationships. So this definitely with the high priest, you have the High Priest and the High Priestess. So we have counterpart energies here, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, merging those energies together. And here we have justice in terms of, this can be marriage, okay? So some of you are definitely focusing on a marriage, a commitment. So congratulations if you are getting married. Now this could also represent a divorce here, but I do feel like a very powerful, two powerful energies coming together here. And justice represents the laws of cause and effect. It represents litigations, your aligning to your truth and integrity, fairness, equality, and justice. So if things have felt unfair, the scales of justice is balancing out here. This is bodes well for judgments and decisions in your favor, but it calls for you to act in a very fair, honorable way, to use logic and rationality in your decision making process. Yes, we can indulge in the pleasures and of the senses of the earthly experience, and this is what I spoke about before I pulled these cards about Taurus full moon energies, where that can really bring us into the material and start focusing more on gain of material assets, of wealth, and withholding or being emotionally unavailable in relationships, or not balancing your spiritual and your physical world. So there needs to be a balance of your rational mind in terms of your decision making, that you're not getting dragged into temptation or lure here of overindulgence, of escapism. This card represents the energy and need to take responsibility for the actions and decisions and the choices that we make in our lives. And are we treating others fairly and honorably? Are we speaking our truth and standing in our power? And do we give that to other people? Because karma and justice, in the reaping what you sow, the laws of attraction, the law of nature, the laws of cause and effect. So you always get back what you put out in any sense. And this can definitely be a very sexual desire, temptations, pleasures, passions. That's not wrong. It's absolutely necessary for us to indulge in the earthly senses and pleasures of life, but when we're using it as escapism, or we're connecting to toxic situation, codependency, manipulation, cheating, and things like that, whatever we've been doing here that does not serve our highest good, we're now being called to use the sword to cut ourselves free, to use the energies to really understand what your highest good is, and have the power and strength to cut away, to release, to surrender what doesn't serve you, old patterns, old emotions, behaviors, relationships, mindsets, beliefs. They're all being challenged here for you to look and see what's in your highest good and what is not. You need to see how resilient you become, and not allow yourself to be a victim of past experiences, to open up to that healing. Yes, there is an cautionary energy to the Nine of Wands, but ultimately you are persevering, you are standing strong, and you can definitely look at this challenging energies as a way to gain strength and wisdom and courage in persevering. So let's look at the oracle message for you guys. Unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. And as I said to you with the Six of Swords and the High Priestess, it's definitely unknown, but it's trusting in that energy. So I'm going to read the message, guys. Look beneath the surface in your life and you will find treasure. Oh no, sorry guys, that's the wrong card. You are exactly where you need to be, even if you're not consciously aware of it. Even if you don't have all the answers, keep going forward with your heart open. If you can't see clearly ahead and don't know where you're headed, keep moving forward. Do what feels right, even if your brain doesn't agree. Your heart always knows. Instead of dismay because you are in unknown territory, celebrate that you're expanding and growing by leaps and bounds. Sometimes a traveler feels lost, a lack of confidence, or a sense of being in unknown territory. It can seem that others know more or are more qualified. However, it can be this very feeling of not knowing that allows one to step outside the bounds of convention and reach beyond the perimeters of self that have been imposed by family, friends, society, and religion. It can be a very good thing. It can help you find yourself. Cherish those moments of not knowing. It's often during those times that the greatest revelations occur. Trust that all is well. You are where you should be. So I think Gemini had a similar message to all is well, guys. So Pisces, I hope these messages helped you guys in some way. Look after yourselves and have a wonderful November. Take care.